join the people of the Middle East, Israel, and whomever else. Like, God bless. But it has nothing to do with me, okay, as a Christian and an American. Why should I be worried about anything that's happening 6,000 miles away? Now, I will say this, okay? I can completely sever my surroundings from the Middle East, unfortunately, because I live in a state that just happens to have one of the largest Muslim populations being controlled by Muslims, okay, outside the Middle East. So, unfortunately, I can't separate myself completely. But, like I said, I will choose my Christian faith and my American country every day of the week over Islam or Israel or Judaism or anybody else, Buddhist. I don't care who you are, any other faith or country. I choose my faith and my country every day of the week. But I will show you this little clip from Candy Pants. Okay, so enjoy.
Exist in the West. Do you think that's feasible? I'm not talking about individual Muslims who are lovely and peaceful and all of the rest of the preface stuff that we have to say before we talk about this. But what are your views on Islam?
How's it going in the UK? Those are my views. Okay, they have different views than us. Their views are that Western civilization is corrupted and awful, and it doesn't follow their code of ethics. It doesn't work. You cannot say that you can coexist peacefully. What's happening in the UK is the greatest example. What's happening in Europe? There's a European crisis going on right now. Okay, they have different ideas of what freedom is. Their idea of freedom is not freedom whatsoever. And you brought up Ian Kearsley, and I've followed her closely, and what she says is so important. She is someone that has defected from it and is telling you exactly what goes on. It's amazing to me that people think that somehow if you bring people that actually hate Western civilization to Western civilization, what they're just going to warm up to it and say, we'll coexist peacefully, even though everything you do sickens us.
Well, they will coexist peacefully until the demographic changes are enough that they know until. Is Islam, are the central doctrines of Islam compatible with our most foundational Western values? You couldn't have a clear answer, and it is no. Now, many Muslims might decide to ignore the endless stuff that's useless in their holy books. But when the demographic changes allow you to then implement further intrusions on the rest of us, it's going to happen. And there's 1,400 years of history that suggests this.
Good luck, Europe. I don't see how Europe's going to get it back. I genuinely feel that they're done. People have asked me this question all the time, and I've looked at it and I've said, no, I think they're done. I don't see how they can get it back. I view America as the last stand for Western civilization. It's why it was so important for us to show a sign of support in Israel. They are our only allies in the Middle East, and the fact that it took us this long to take a strong stand for them is ridiculous, right? So I lived with a Muslim girl, so this is not at all an attack against peaceful Muslims. It's just a basic understanding that Islam and Western civilization are never going to be friends because they're fundamentally different ideas.
There you have it, straight from the hypocritical mouth of old Candy Pants Owens. So, yeah, I mean, but don't take my word for it. Just listen to Candace Owens because she just said it. So, yeah, there you go.